Chippy and the Great Winter Lesson. Once upon a time, in a cozy little forest nestled at the base of a tall mountain, there lived a young chipmunk named Chippy. Chippy was known far and wide for his boundless energy and curious nature. He loved exploring the forest and playing with his friends, but there was one thing he didn't care much for: preparing for the long, harsh winter. The older, wiser animals in the forest, like Mr. Owl, Mrs. Squirrel, and Grandpa Bear, always warned Chippy about the importance of getting ready for winter. They told him tales of blizzards that covered the land in thick snow, making it impossible to find food. They spoke of how chilly and uncomfortable the winter could be without proper preparations. But Chippy would just giggle and reply, "I have plenty of time. Winter is ages away." As the leaves began to turn fiery shades of red and gold, and a cool breeze whispered through the trees, the forest animals knew that winter was on its way. They set to work gathering acorns, nuts, and berries and storing them in their cozy homes. Chippy watched their industriousness but couldn't be bothered. Instead, he continued to play and explore, convinced that he had plenty of time. Soon, winter was upon the forest, and it came with a furious snowstorm that blanketed the land. The temperature dropped, and the once vibrant forest turned into a frosty wonderland. Chippy shivered in the cold and realized that he was hungry. He hadn't stored any food and didn't know where to find any now. Desperate and alone, Chippy approached Mrs. Squirrel, who had always been kind to him. Mrs. Squirrel shared her acorns, but she also gave Chippy a valuable lesson. She said, "Chippy, you see, it's not enough to just enjoy the present. We must also prepare for the future. Winter comes for us all, and we must be ready." Chippy was grateful for Mrs. Squirrel's kindness and learned a valuable lesson. He decided to seek help from the other animals, and they all shared their food, teaching Chippy about the importance of planning and preparing for the future. Throughout the winter, Chippy listened to the stories of the older, wiser animals and shared his newfound knowledge with his friends. As the snow melted and spring returned, Chippy had not only survived the winter but had also made new friends who admired his wisdom and willingness to learn. Chippy's adventure showed him that enjoying today shouldn't make us forget about getting ready for tomorrow. He learned that being prepared and thinking ahead is super important because, eventually, winter comes to all of us. And when it does, it's smart to be ready with good ideas and plans.